Yeah, Ilia's in the hospital. He's busted up. You know, I'm not a doctor, but his eye looked like he probably has broken orbital. I don't know that's not a fact, but I'm just assuming. And my plans for him are to go home and rest and recover and take his time. And you know, tonight was a rough night for him. I just want to make sure he's healthy and good, and not even thinking about him fighting again. Just want him to go home and relax and rest and heal.
And a broken nose. Just that alone, just the orbitals alone, like anytime you've got eye injuries, like anything severe with your eyes, long-term consequences vary. You know,
it's psychological.
Absolutely.
And your body heals.
And physical.
The body is resilient.
Like, I'm telling you,
broken bones make stronger bones. Like that is his orbital bones will be stronger.
It depends on where, though, Justin. The orbital bone, I had my orbital broken, and for 6 months, I would do this and my tooth would move. And it's right where my sinus cavity is. You remember when you hit me with the spinning elbow?
Your tooth would move?
Dude,
when you push
right
on
here,
your cheek?
And my tooth would move.
One of MMA's most dominant champions is now facing major uncertainty following the events of UFC Freedom 250 on June 14th. In the days after his fight with Justin Gaethje, Ilia Topuria was hospitalized due to injuries sustained during the bout. For years, Topuria had built a reputation as an unstoppable force, defeating elite competition and establishing himself as one of the UFC's brightest stars. However, after this setback, the focus quickly shifted away from championships and toward concerns about the physical toll of the fight. As more information emerged from Dana White and others involved, it became clear that this was far more than a routine defeat, sparking widespread discussion throughout the MMA community.
Ilia, I told you, pride comes before the fall. He was too cocky. He overlooked his opponent crazy, and he got humbled. And that's simple how it is. I think he's the better fighter than Gaethje, but he decided to let his pride get in before him. He thought he was beating me. He thought he was beating Terrence Crawford. He thought he could fight. I think he even said something about Canelo at one point, that he could maybe box him one day or something like that. I mean, this guy's head was out of this world. I mean, he was going crazy after everybody, and that's the truth.
Coming back the way he did with those devastating body shots that would have finished any ordinary great fighter, but Justin Gaethje's not an ordinary great fighter. He's above the ordinary when it comes to chaos and punishment that he can dish out and take. And he definitely took some body shots that I don't think most fighters would have been able to come back from. And he did. And you know what I noticed, and I don't know if anybody picked this up, but in the first round, the very, very first punch that Gaethje hit Ilia right in that freaking eye, the right eye in the orbital area. And I think, and I'm not saying I'm right, but I think that started the downfall, because every single time that he get hit in that eye, I think maybe he got both his orbitals broken. I don't know, but I know that it looked very painful because of the way he did this, right after that, he started doing this the whole time. And I'm thinking,
what makes the story even more compelling is that even many of Topuria's critics acknowledge his elite talent, with some describing him as one of the most complete fighters of his era. However, confidence can become a liability when it evolves into absolute certainty. Leading into UFC Freedom 250, many felt Topuria was expected to win without question. Gaethje, though, demonstrated why experience, toughness, and unpredictability remain so valuable at the highest level of the sport. Following the fight, Topuria's brother Aleksandre shared a message of support, expressing pride in his brother's journey and emphasizing gratitude regardless of whether the outcome brings victory or lessons to learn.
The main event was the greatest fight of all time. It literally was the greatest fight of all time. Because the guy that won it, Justin Gaethje, was in many books 6-1 favorite, 6-1 underdog rather, which is crazy odds for a guy that was a interim lightweight champion, fought the best of the best, one of the best to ever do it, BMF champion. I mean, just super durable, real dangerous guy. And that's how good Ilia Topuria is. That's how good Ilia Topuria is. Ilia Topuria, in many people's eyes, is the most skilled of the new generation, and the new generation is the most skilled of all time. And Ilia was like the top of the mountain. And most people thought that he was going to be too much, and he was too much for a while. And he almost took Justin out in the second round. And then Justin rallied. And then Ilia, it looked like he got really damaged in either the first or the second round, and he was having real trouble seeing out of one of his eyes. And then Justin started landing bombs in the third round. Ilia had slowed down quite a bit. It looked like he had really tried to finish Justin in the second. And sometimes when you try to finish a guy, you just hit the gas way too much and you can't recover in between rounds. And Justin recovered, and Justin started battering Ilia in the third and fourth. And by the end of the fourth round, Ilia quit on his stool.
Joe Rogan's point is significant because fans often focus only on how a fight ends rather than the damage that builds throughout the contest. A single clean strike, swelling around the eye, or a small physical limitation can gradually alter the course of a championship fight. Sometimes those early moments have a much greater impact than people realize. If Rogan's assessment is accurate, Topuria may have been dealing with vision-related issues well before the fight ultimately came to an end.
He couldn't see out of either eye. He had gotten kneed into the body real bad when he was on the ground. Justin had him down with his two hands and just smashed a knee into his rib cage, and you could see him go like that. And that was the end of the round. And then he had to retire on his stool. You think
he broke a rib?
That probably could have happened, but I think maybe more significantly was the eye damage. Both of his eyes were swollen shut. His nose was fucked up. He'd taken so many punches to the face, and it looked like perhaps orbital damage, like maybe he had a fractured orbital because his whole thing had just swollen up on both sides. He was unrecognizable. And, the guy hung in there as long as he could. But when you can't see, you can't see. And when you're that battered, sometimes it's smart to stop. And he's a very smart guy, and I think he realized, I can't defend myself right now. I can't.
The ending sparked mixed reactions among fans. Some viewed it as a fighter giving up, while others saw it as a necessary response to the damage sustained during the bout. However, Joe Rogan's assessment offers a different perspective. According to the discussion, Topuria may have been dealing with severe facial damage, swelling, and potential orbital issues that significantly affected his vision. If that was the case, the fight had moved beyond tactics and game plans. When a fighter can no longer see clearly, the challenge becomes less about defeating an opponent and more about safely enduring the situation inside the cage.
Ilia Topuria will look back and go, why didn't I let him up?
What about that 1 minute between the rounds? If Ilia had to come out with that 1 minute when they were looking at him and he said he couldn't see, Justin might have stopped him right then. Ilia had a full minute to completely recover that he should have gotten. Inexperienced doctor.
They overrode Doctor who may not have been as experienced in this.
Mark said it was an inexperienced doctor. You gotta let them fight.
Gotta let them fight.
If they want to fight, you gotta...
Recovery is often overlooked by fans, especially when the focus is on highlights and results. A dramatic moment in a fight may last only a few seconds, but the physical effects can remain for months or even longer. That is why reports of potential orbital and facial injuries generated so much concern after the fight. These are the types of injuries that can require significant healing time and cannot simply be brushed aside once the event is over.
You're through Ilia. Was he as good as you thought he was? Was he better than you thought he was? Just can you talk about what you experienced in there with him?
He's very good. My liver still hurts right now. Those body shots were crazy. He was really, really fast, but when he didn't get the finish at the end of the second round, I think it really took his spirit. And, again, I said it in the press conference leading up. I was like, he really backed himself into a corner saying he's going to be so dominant. And I said it. When we go to the second round, you're going to be like, what the fuck? When we go to the third round, you're going to be like, what the fuck? And, that's what I did tonight.
Did you feel he was broken after he didn't get that finish?
I never felt he was broken because he was so dangerous at the whole time. But in the third round, when I started landing those jabs, when he started finding his back foot, I knew something was different. I have to do it.
maybe there will be nothing to this, but it couldn't help but cross my mind that when you got hurt by body shots in the biggest fight of your life, that you're a guy who has paid sparring partners to try to drop you with body shots in the gym.
Yeah.
Is there any significance to that or any?
He would have made $1,000 off of me tonight if that was the case. Yeah, I mean, it still hurts right now. That hurts. My hand hurts. My jaw hurts. He is a formidable opponent. He was so good and so dangerous. And I never really got to. I didn't see him quit. I saw them almost stop the round and fight at the end of the third round. And I was like, no way. And then he's back out there and back to being dangerous. So. Yeah, it was.
What stands out in Gaethje's comments is the level of respect he continues to show Topuria. He doesn't speak about the fight as if it were an easy victory or a mismatch. Instead, he describes it as one of the toughest challenges of his career, mentioning the physical damage he suffered along the way, including injuries to his body, jaw, and hands. Despite the criticism surrounding Topuria after the defeat, Gaethje has consistently emphasized how dangerous his opponent was throughout the fight. That respect carries weight because fighters understand firsthand the threats they face inside the cage, and Gaethje clearly felt that danger in every exchange.